Is there going to be any kind of rivalry between Josie and the Pussycats and any band that Archie may form?
Yes, absolutely. Archie is definitely a threat to Josie. She is the big man on campus. She's the biggest fish in the pond, and then he comes around with his cute face, and all the girls are falling all over him, and he tries to kind of push in on some of my girls, and I'm like, but we kind of find a bit of a middle ground, but there's definitely some animosity between the two of us.
She seems like a bit like a mean girl when we first meet her. Is that going to continue, or will we see sort of the more rounded out character or softer side of Josie? Is there a softer side?
Yes, absolutely. There is definitely a softer side, and I actually just wrapped Josie's spotlight episode, where you'll be able to see who she is behind the ears, and you'll see what her family life is like and her relationship with her mom and her dad, which kind of influences this persona that she keeps whenever she's on stage or whenever she's at school around her pussycats. And she definitely has an ego, but she's not too mean to the point where she is too standoffish to fans, and she recognizes that. And there's a couple of things that happen that kind of keep her in check and help level her out, so you'll see many different sides of Josie, absolutely.
We mentioned Archie and Josie's relationship, but are there other character dynamics with Josie that are really cool? And
outside of her dynamic between the other two pussycats, she also has an interesting friendship with Sheryl and Veronica, which we will flesh out throughout the season, which is a lot of fun. You'll see how she relates to them, and even, like I said, how she kind of at times warms up to Archie, but not all the time.
What was the appeal of this role for you?
Okay, so I grew up reading Archie comics. I used to stand in the grocery line and read as much as I could because my aunt just was not going to pay for them. And I was like, I don't need the chips. You can put the juice back. Just please let me get this new issue. And once this role came about, I was actually in a very tough place personally. I was having issues, finding auditions and finding money. And once this came across my table, I thought, oh my God, I am absolutely Josie. I've been Josie since I was 12. I can do this. And I broke her down to a T before I even read the sides. And one of the things that I said about her was she always wears heels. And if she's ever in a flat, it's got to be really cute. Sneakers always have to have a wedge, and she always has lip gloss. And then I read the sides, and the last line that I say in my scene is, read my glossed lips. And I was like, oh, this is it. I got it. I can do this. And I also really love the fact that the way that Josie is written, she's far more headstrong, and she's far more coherent about her choices. She's not quite as all over the place as she usually is in the comics, just a few hairs shy of Melody. She definitely is a lot more strong-minded and willing to succeed, and isn't going to allow even a boy or anything else to stop her, and I like that image. I like supplying that type of girl power that you don't see very often. Smart girls who are willing to succeed and able to succeed without a male influence, if that makes sense.
You mentioned Sheryl Blossom, and the big mystery of the season is Jason Blossom's death.
Yeah.
Did your character have any relationship with him?
As far as I know, I don't believe so. Nothing more than I know that it's Cheryl's twin brother and they have a weird relationship. But I don't really have too much of a stake in that. No, not so much.
No. You have a really nice voice. I was curious, what is your musical background?
I just happen to be able to sing. I come from a family of singers. My mom is a singer. My grandmother was a singer. My grandfather was a pianist. I am blessed enough to have an artistic stock that I've come from, and also I'm able to actually utilize that. I mostly just sing to myself or at karaoke, so the fact that I'm singing as myself on this show is a little nerve-wracking, but it's a lot of fun.
A lot of this school seems populated by basically rich white kids, you know? and then we have these three African American girls that are musicians. Would they be outsiders if they weren't such sort of celebrities within the school? Is this something that we're kind of look at the fact that it's just a bunch of rich white kids?
You know, I think it is. It's like one of those realities where you're aware of it, but you don't allow it to affect you. It's like you know it's there, but it's not something that makes you feel like you're separate from everyone else all the time. I think even if these girls weren't who they were, even if we didn't all come together, each girl has such a strong personality, and even Melody has other life dreams that are separate from music, and they're so strong on their own that I think they would still stand just fine and not feel like an outsider if we were separate, even as we're together.
Do you think that there's been some kind of speculation about the idea of doing an afterlife with Archie, like a Halloween special or something?
Yeah.
If that were to come about, would you like to play the immortal vampire Josie?
Yes. Yes, I would. I mean, even outside of this world, you know, I have big, crazy, weird dreams of wanting to be a vampire, like a la Kate Beckinsale in Underworld. So if I had the privilege of doing a Halloween episode in an epic costume and have fangs, like, oh, yes, absolutely. I would love to do that. I hope we do.
You mentioned that you're a big fan of the Archie comics and you grew up reading them. And obviously the show takes some liberties with those comics. But what are the elements that you think are really maintained or translated into the show from some of the original comics?
A lot of the love storyline, the triangle between Betty, Archie, Veronica, and even just the friendship between, or frenemy aspect of Archie and Reggie. And Moose and his relationship to Archie and Reggie's animosity toward Jughead, and also like the family dynamic between Archie and his dad, Jughead and his dad, Veronica and her dad. There's a lot of similarities that are going to be able to ground people who grew up the same way I did reading them, just enough so that they can relate and understand who all these people are, and then feel free to go on this journey with us as we explore different universes that we live in, separate from the beautiful beginning, middle, and end of every little series in the comics.
Is there any chance we'll see a CD come out of this? Because obviously there are a couple of bands at play.
Hopefully, that is the plan. We're definitely doing some original songs and some covers, and I gotta tell you, it's really good. So much so that the episode that we just shot, Archie sings one of his original songs, and I cried even after we cut. Like, I came out and I was supposed to be doing another scene, and I came on stage just to watch him work, and it was quite moving. So hopefully we will have a CD for everyone to listen to once we're done.